So evidently there is a tornado about 30 miles northeast of here. And this is what the sky has been doing for the last half hour. It's non-stop lightning with no thunder. I have never seen this before in my life. That is really cool.
Rainstorms have battered southwestern China. It caused widespread flooding in Guizhou province, and this man found himself trapped in his home.
After 8 hours of continuous rain, the Nanjiao River had covered roads and fields and rushed into Li Jinping's house. Rescuers had to use bamboo to throw 2 ropes across to him.
Not everyone was as lucky as him. Heavy rains in central and southern China have killed at least 6 people since Tuesday, bringing down hundreds of homes and ruining farm crops, according to state-run Xinhua news agency.
In the neighbouring province of Guangdong, rainstorms have battered the west of the province as well as the Pearl River Delta region. Traffic has been affected and schools were forced to close Wednesday afternoon.
Let me show you this, though, a video of just in the north of LA, a tornado touchdown, yeah, and it looks quite impressive, too. This in Bakersfield, California. Yeah, right here in the state of California. Look at that thing as it moves across the roadway there and all the traffic going.
I'd say it was a little bit different about this one is that it started with the thunderstorm, kind of in the early stages of a thunderstorm. And they often call those land spouts.
More home video captured the strong storm, powerful enough to spawn this tornado.
The spring weather brought with it something pretty unsightly near St. Paul. Hundreds of fish recently died in Beaver Lake. As you can see, they ended up all along the shoreline there. Now, fish kills are not, of course, unusual this time of year, but this one has Ramsey County officials worried.
The fish died even though there is an aeration system in Beaver Lake.
The whole little bay area here was just thick with dead fish.
Fish by the hundreds, maybe even the thousands. When the ice finally went out on Beaver Lake a week and a half ago, this is what it left behind.
It's estimated that more than 7,000 pounds of dead fish, mostly catfish, sunfish, and bass, have been taken out of Beaver Lake. But what caused this unusually large fish kill is still a mystery.
Sean, the Department of Game and Inland Fisheries has been bombarded with reports of dead birds on the south side, most of them found yesterday in Danville and Pittsylvania County. Heather Rosenbaum is live from our Danville studio. Heather, this certainly scared some people there.
Yeah, Len, many people wondered if it was something dangerous or toxic in the air. While hundreds of birds were found, the department says the people should not worry. In fact, it may even be a natural occurrence. Barbara Scott was shocked when her business's parking lot became a graveyard for more than 100 birds.
That freaked me out.
Scott says she first noticed feathers stuck to the front door before she learned that was just the start.
I was thinking, this is crazy. How in the world did the bird fly into the door? That's what I was thinking.
The Department of Game and Inland Fisheries received several reports of dead birds littering that parking lot and a number of others throughout Danville and Pittsylvania County.
It's kind of a rare occurrence for songbirds to end up being found dead from maybe a natural incident.
Still, Dan Lovelace with the department suspects the deaths can be attributed to the strong storms mixed with the birds' migration patterns.
People as far afield as Cornwall and Lancashire have reported seeing a large meteor flashing across the sky last night.
Witnesses described a blue or green light with a tail behind it. This shot was picked up by a CCTV camera. There it is. Look at that. In Cardiff. Experts believe it may have been part of the debris left by Halley's
Eso quiere decir que vamos a salir campeones, che. ¿Qué mierda es eso?
Mira, qué buena.
Oh, conchetumare. Oh, conchetumare. Oh, la cagó.
Another Connecticut town has been hit by a meteorite.
Yeah, last month a meteorite landed on a house in Wolcott, and this week, less than a mile away, a meteorite crashed through a gutter and landed on the lawn outside a Waterbury home. This meteorite was found intact, unlike the one in Wolcott, which split in two. As you can see, it's about the same size and shape of an avocado. The homeowner contacted the Yale Peabody Museum of Natural History, which confirmed that it is indeed a meteorite.
Not uncommon to see some hail falling from the sky as the spring storms move through, but a family in Gray says an ice chunk, literally the size of a beach ball, fell near their home on Wednesday.
This is really crazy. News Channel 11's Ted Overbay went to check out the site of the impact today and discovered, if nothing else, those that saw it will have a great story to tell.
Well, I very reluctantly put my shoes back on and followed them over here to the site where it fell.
Miller says what he saw when he got there was incredible.
Put that ball down there, Preston, so we can see how big that is. Amazing.
The huge chunk of ice left little doubt.
I don't know if that developed in the clouds or in space.
They just knew it could be important.
Amazing. This news is being reported from Gray, Tennessee.
A couple of days and a little research later, they think they have an answer.
And it's called a mega cryometeor.
One of the scariest scenes on video that Mother Nature can produce at Lake Mille Lacs, east of Brainerd in mid-Minnesota. This is what an ice shove or an ice surge looks like. It was a wall of half-melted ice shards driven by wind, gusts of up to 55 miles an hour. It happened along 10 miles of shoreline, 30 feet of ice.
It's destroying everything in its path. And Sam, this is about these temperature changes, right?
Yeah, because on one side of the country, the west, we've got 80s, 90s, and 100s today. On part of the country, we've got these cold wind chills, 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Heat. And it happened in Manitoba, Canada this weekend, too, where an incredible tsunami-like wave of ice destroyed a dozen two-story homes.
There is a growing mystery in California tonight where families in one community are watching helplessly as their homes sink into the earth. Walls cracking, entire homes condemned. What's happening underneath? Here's ABC's Akiko Fujita tonight.
The slow-motion disaster is threatening all 30 homes in this Northern California neighborhood. Small cracks just weeks ago, now gaping holes, the hillside collapsing. Jagtar Singh watched the ground pull his neighbor's home 10 feet below the street, and he's seen the cracks eat away at his house.
Eight people have died and 13 were injured from a cyclone that hit Sri Lanka on Wednesday, government officials said. Cyclone Mahassan, which brought heavy rains and landslides to Sri Lanka, was expected to hit Bangladesh and Myanmar later this week.
Bangladesh has raised its storm warning to level 7 as Cyclone Mahassan made landfall. Heavy rain and waves of more than 2 meters threatened to bring flooding to several low-lying coastal cities.
At least 6 people have been killed in Bangladesh by a cyclone that battered the coastline on Thursday.
And some Chinese people may not need much persuasion to take a trip overseas. especially when something like this just appeared in the middle of the street. If you're thinking to yourself, what on earth is that? You're not alone. This big, foamy, and according to media reports, foul-smelling ooze appeared in China's eastern city of Nanjing on Saturday evening. Apparently, the street cracked open and it just started to ooze out. At its peak, it spread over 150-foot radius and stood a foot high. Bystanders are stumped as to what this mysterious substance may be. The area was cordoned off and the ooze was washed into the sewers. What was left eventually receded back into the cracks. No one knows what the ooze is or where it came from.
Heavy rain and hailstorms continue to sweep through southern China. 53 people have been killed and several more are still missing. 10 provinces have been affected, including some in central China. Guangdong province has been worst hit, with rainstorms battering 5 cities, including its provincial capital, Guangzhou. At least 22 people are reported to have died, with 16 missing in the province.
The sweeping storms have impacted over 1.36 million people in Guangdong province.
Water levels reportedly rose 2 meters, engulfing homes and businesses. Emergency crews have been rescuing the elderly and the young, cut off by the cruel force of nature.
Destruction and desperation in the Oklahoma town of Moore, where a deadly tornado tore through on Monday afternoon. A frantic search for survivors is being carried out by emergency workers at homes, schools and a hospital hit by the twister. 24 bodies, including several children, have so far been recovered from the wreckage in the devastated town.
Look at the pictures. It's really hard to know at times just what you're looking at. This is believed to have been an F5 category tornado. That would make it the strongest intensity of any weather system on Earth.
Winds over 200 miles an hour. The tornado is reportedly 2 miles wide, something you don't see very often here. Wide swaths of residential area have been completely decimated, as though something you'd see after the Hiroshima or Nagasaki atomic bombings.
Wow. Roar. Huge debris. Huge debris. We're good, Joe. Okay. Hold on, we can fly east.